Welcome back to another episode of STEM in Stilettos. This is your host, Zofia Morales, and today I am here with Amber Briggle, and we will be talking about thriving against all odds in the Amber Briggle way. If you have ever wondered how to navigate challenges as a female tech founder, especially when faced with the pressure to balance work and personal life, you have arrived in the right place because, as we know, we go into business and it's like this daily onslaught of new problems and complications and unexpected things that seem to arrive in our world, in our office, every day, like clockwork. This is the one thing you can count on is your day won't go as planned. So I'm going to introduce our guest here today. Amber Briggle is the CEO of Be Well Enterprises, and she's the founder and owner of Soma Massage Therapy, an award-winning business and the nation's most exciting new franchise opportunity. Amber became a massage therapist in 2004 and began Soma Massage Therapy in 2011. Through tenacity and determination, she has literally built and rebuilt, thanks to the pandemic, a thriving massage therapy business and a promising new franchise brand. Amber graduated massage school in, as I said, 2004, moved around the world, and then finally settled in Dallas in 2009. Within a short time, she had more massage clients than her hands could handle in a day, and she was regularly booked out for weeks, if not months in advance. For a while, Amber would refer those clients to other therapists in the area who had more availability in their schedule, but it wasn't long before she realized the business could and would be more reliable and stable by referring those clients to another therapist in-house instead. And an idea and eventually a business was born. Because of Amber's focus on people first, her small business took off very quickly. Team members were loyal because of Amber's approach to hiring, training, and staffing, leading to a very low staff turnover, which in turn cultivated a very loyal client base. In 2013, Amber moved her business out of her house and into a brick and mortar studio where Soma more than doubled in size from 2 treatment rooms to 4, plus a satellite office and a chiropractic office, just in the span of a few years. By the winter of 2019, she began looking for a larger space where Soma could continue to grow, but then we had a global pandemic and it put those plans dramatically on hold. During the pandemic, Soma was ordered to close and many therapists resigned due to the various strains that were put on families during this time. And by the time they reopened, Amber's staff of 13 had dwindled to only 4 people, and she had to close her satellite location entirely. More determined than ever, Amber found a way to focus her business and keep it from closing permanently. Through tenacity, focus, and creativity, she was able to successfully rebuild in only 14 months after that initial closing, opening a new location with 7 treatment rooms, a current staff of 24, and 4 front desk staff, and gross revenues exceeding $1 million annually. Soma Massage has consistently won awards year after year. Amber is incredibly proud of her reputation with Soma and as being a people-first business. Amber has learned when she operates from a place of values, ethics, compassion, and respect, her business can withstand the test of time. And this is one of the reasons I'm excited to have you here with me today, because we all have businesses that at some point are gonna choke. And so I want to dig into that moment of choke with you, because I think this is where you find out if you're really a business owner or if you are just happenstance self-employed person.
Yeah, yeah.
What we do when those moments arrive. So tell me about arriving in that moment where COVID hits and it's close your doors, you can't do in-person contact.
Yeah. Well, first off, Sophia, thank you so much for having me on. And after that very lengthy bio, I feel like our time is used up. So I'll be showing myself to the door now. No, thank you.
No,
Yes.
we've got another 42 minutes.
Oh,
So
great. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah. So your question is about what was I feeling in that moment when I
yeah,
closed doors?
well, let's break it down a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Because things are going pretty well for you at that
Things were
time.
going great. I was looking for a
Yeah.
third location, actually. I was working with a realtor to help me identify another space because we were at capacity at both of our locations, and then COVID hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what was your initial reaction when that arrived? Because there's gonna be a reaction.
You know what my first reaction My first reaction when I heard Governor Abbott say that all massage establishments were to close within 24 hours, I walked downstairs to my bedroom and I remember with every step I took descending, I thought, I'm so glad that we have the pop-up camper so that when we lose the house, my children will still have a place to sleep at night. That was
Wow.
I remember viscerally, I thought we were going to lose everything,
Everything. Yeah.
absolutely everything. I mean, to be fair, we couldn't find bread or toilet paper. Everyone was making sourdough because I couldn't even find yeast.
Yeah.
So it's like everything was scarce. You could not find anything. And now I've lost my business, which means I've lost my income, which means I'm
Which means
therefore going to
all the
lose everything.
dominoes are
We're
starting
going to
to
lose. We're
fall
going to lose.
financially. Yes.
Yep. And so we were able to stay open for one more day. And I made sure that I would, usually my massage therapists lock up for the day. I'm pretty hands off with my managerial style. And I just kind of give them a key and I'm like, do your amazing thing. I'm going to give you all my money every 2 weeks. And I'm just going to treat you like the grown adults that you are. So
Yeah.
usually they're the ones that lock up at the end of the day, but I wanted to be there. So I made sure I was there as we were approaching 8 p.m. seeing our last client. I saw the therapists out. I hoped to see them again in 2 weeks because
We were told this would blow over like really
yeah,
fast.
yeah. I kind of knew it was going to be longer than that, but I was like, okay. And they left. And before I made sure all the candles were blown out and all the table warmers were unplugged. And then I just sat down and I screamed. And I had one of those ugly cries. And I was like, how is this happening? Like, all we do is sell touch. Like, I
Yeah.
don't have products. We don't do,
Yeah,
we don't,
you have to be within 6 feet of the other
yeah,
person to do
right?
this.
Like
Yeah.
I can't do massage virtually. What does that mean? I'm not a spa, so it's not like I had like skincare products to sell people. Like I literally sell physical touch with people who are outside your bubble. And that
Yeah.
was completely off limits. And I freaked out. I absolutely freaked out. And I closed the door and I locked the door and I went home and I cried myself to sleep. So that my thought was, I'm going to lose everything. And we all got into our hole and no one got dressed and no one put on makeup. And it was just like, you know what
Flipped
I mean?
around
You're
in
just
your sweats and
eating
yeah.
your feelings all day
What
long,
why do
right?
I need to even shower?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Eating your feelings, just doom scrolling until I realized I'm like, look, and it didn't take very long. It was like within a few days, I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong.
That's
I
right.
did not do anything wrong. I did not make a bad ethical, legal, or financial decision that got us into trouble. This is beyond my control. So why should I lose my business? I've worked too damn hard to see this thing collapse. So I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I am determined to make this work. And through conversations that I had with clients and with tech leaders, female tech founders who like knew me, knew my business, knew how things were trending, everything was moving online. I eventually within maybe a week or so, developed a virtual massage studio, which sounds crazy because you can't do massage online. But what I was
But hey, there's a first for
yeah,
everything.
so stick with me. Like it's gonna make sense. So I created a virtual massage studio for a very slight membership fee. Some videos were free, but the more advanced ones, the ones that I knew were really gonna hook you, like those ones you had to pay a little bit of money for. And it hardly made any money at all, but it gave me something to do. I would get dressed and I would care for my people because they were all online.
Yes.
Because what was happening is I would, instead of sending out a mass email or a mass text like, hey, we are closed until further notice, I would call every client on our schedule and say, this is the situation. Governor Abbott has ordered us to be closed until such and such a date. You've got an appointment on Tuesday. We have to get you rescheduled. Now, we're going to schedule you for the next opening beyond that reopen date. And if we're still closed, I'm going to circle back around. I'm going to check with it in with you again. And we're just going to rinse and repeat until this nightmare is behind us. And because it's my job to care for people, like we
Yes.
massage therapists, like it's literally our job to care for you. And when everything's when that personal connection is like off limits, like how can I personally connect with my people? I'm going to call them because everyone's at home and I'm not going to miss them.
Exactly. And they're all probably sitting there tearing their hair out with
Yeah.
their kids and
Yeah.
their spouse. And it's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
can barely
Yeah.
make it through a weekend with everyone in the house.
Yep. And that's it. And they were super stressed. They're like, I know I'm clenching my teeth at night and I'm having these massive migraines. Do you have any suggestions on how I can help with that? Because usually I see Emily and she helps me with this thing and it's only gotten worse. And so I
Yeah.
would coach them over the phone on jaw stretches and just awareness in this area, and notice how that changes your breath, and like whatever it was that they were dealing with, I would offer them some suggestions. And then my female tech friends who saw where things were trending and knew where to send me for these paid videos were like, you should start a virtual massage studio. And that's exactly what I did. And so I'd put on pants and I'd put on makeup and I'd be like, hey, here's tension headaches. Here's this really great space on your hand. It's an acupressure point
Where
where
you can
chakras,
push. Yep.
right? And it's going to release. Now it's contraindicated for pregnancy, but this is what you can do. Here's what you do when your jaw's locked up. Here's what you do when you feel like you can't breathe. Can't touch your face, but your sinuses are driving you crazy. Here's DIY reflexology. And I would do these like little 2 to 7 minute videos, self massage with your partner that you're like locked up in quarantine with, or tools you can buy on Amazon, or essential oils, like whatever it was.
Yeah.
And what happened is that not only did it help our clients who were already familiar with the Soma brand, but literally the entire world is at home doom scrolling, looking for the vaccine, looking for some good news, and here comes my face. And I've got some pro tips as someone who's been doing massage for 100 years on how,
Or at least it feels like it.
yeah, on how you can care for yourself and care for the people that you're quarantined with. And we got a following, right? And people started seeing, people who were unfamiliar with the Soma brand started understanding, because people who were familiar with our brand kind of already got this, because this is very much what our brand is about. But people
Yeah.
who were unfamiliar with our brand started seeing how massage is not just a fluffy thing that you do. It's not just a pedicure or getting your
It's
hair
not a
done.
nice luxury kind of thing.
Right. I mean, it can
really
be, but it's
valuable.
also like, yeah, like you see your chiropractor regularly, you go to the gym regularly, you drink enough water, you get enough sleep
Right.
regularly.
Well,
These
and that's one of the best pairings right there is massage and chiropractic.
absolutely.
Because if you go and get adjusted, your muscles are just going to yank you back where you were
Mhm,
if they're
mhm.
not addressed. But if
Yep.
you get adjusted and you get a massage
Right.
together,
Right.
either way, one before or after, it doesn't
Yep.
matter.
We-
Your chiropractic adjustment lasts so much longer.
Absolutely. And just massage in general is just, like if you're taking your car in for an oil change every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, but you're not doing anything for your body, like you do that for maintenance. You bring your car in
Yeah.
before it breaks down. Like you should be doing the same for your body. And so I was able to articulate that like massage is healthcare and Soma is the place to experience this. And then so what happened when we were able to reopen a few months later is not only did I have a ton of demand from our existing clients, but I had a lot of other clients who were like, I need this.
Oh, I gotta come see
Oh, I
you.
need this. I've been following you on social media for months. This makes so much sense. I want this. And we also ended up attracting a lot of people who were getting regular massages at other studios, but who were not maybe medically focused, therapeutic focused, like Soma Massage.
Right. Or their practitioners gave up, right? Because a lot
Practitioners
of
gave up, or their
people
studio closed,
threw
or their
in the towel when this
that's
shit
right,
happened.
which
Yeah.
happened, and I'm not going to fault them. Like you make the best
No,
decision
you've
all the
got to
time.
make the choice that works for you in the moment.
Absolutely.
We're coming up on our first break, so I kind of want to pull out some lessons that I'm seeing from this particular story.
Love it.
The first one was when this shit happened, you didn't turn your back on it, pretend it wasn't happening, or run away from it. You steered directly into it. You closed on that last day.
Yeah.
You fully experienced the reaction. You allowed yourself to have the time to have the reaction. You didn't pretend that wasn't happening. And then once that was out of the way, what I hear you saying is you took a look at what I can do right now.
Yeah.
And what you can do right now is be in close contact with your existing client base. And you also looked outside of your normal experience, right? Because as you said, massage, hands-on with people that are outside of your bubble, that's the world. And you expanded beyond that by saying, okay, what of this can I take online?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you had kind of an active plan B going that could then translate into customers when the doors did in fact reopen.
Absolutely.
And I just kind of wanted to highlight all of that because I'm sure there are people who are listening to this going, yeah, tech is all my thing and that's it. But tech doesn't protect you from shit happening. Okay, there's stuff that happens in the tech world all the time that impact software as a service and some of these other online ventures that we're putting together. And AI is one of those massive seismic shift things that's happening in the tech world. And so if your software as a service idea suddenly got derailed because of the arrival of AI, sit down, take a look at what your options are, a la Amber Briggle. And I think I want to make that your homework over the break here. If something seismic like this arrived in your business today, what are some of your options? What have your customers been asking for that might have taken you in a different direction? What are some alternatives you can think about? Because honestly, the worst possible number in business is one. If you have one product, if you have one way you make money, if there's one path for people to do things, then when that gets closed, you're in a world of hurt. So spend a little time with that. Be resourceful, scare up a few alternatives. You may not need them now, but you may need them, who knows, down the road. And hang with us, we'll be right back.
Oh, check it out, we're here. Tech is ours and we show no fear. No fear. No fear. No fear.
Thanks for hanging in with us through the break. This is Zofia Morales, and I am back with the amazing and wonderful Amber Briggle. And I asked you to spend a little time over the break being resourceful and thinking about alternatives, additional things that you can add into or offer within your business if you were to run into one of these seismic world-changing sort of situations. Or you can also use this as a potential expansion direction as you go down the road. So it's not a pointless thought exercise, certainly. And I think knowing that there are options and there's resourcefulness kind of helps to pull you out of the tailspin a little bit faster. So I know one of your big things is you pride yourself on being people first.
Absolutely.
And so explain to me what that means to you and why it's important to you.
Yeah. Well, I actually just did a whole webinar on this that people can find on our YouTube channel, just being in
Nice.
general, just a values focused business instead of a profits focused business. And being people first is one of our core values. It's just more sustainable from a bit, like, not only is it just like kind and the right thing to do, but it's from a business point of view, it's far more sustainable, because if you're chasing profits and you're always just trying to like meet that quota or meet that bottom line, then you are missing the whole point. You're missing the entire point of why it is that you got into business in the first place, which was to help people and to serve people in way, like you're bringing your talents and your passions to the people because you want to help and serve them. If you start chasing the profits instead, then you're cheapening your product. You are steamrolling your employees who are going to feel exploited and used, and they're going to bounce and go somewhere else, and you're going to be spending.
And they're going to treat the customers the way you're treating them.
That's the other thing too. Yeah. And additionally, then your customers, your clients, your consumers, future and current and prospective, will also not be sticking with your business because they're not getting that level of care. And it should be like that reverse pyramid where that leadership, that ethos should come from the top. And you should be treating every person who walks through your doors, whether they're an employee, a vendor, a consumer, with kindness and with dignity and with humanity. Because if you don't, and you're chasing the profit, the whole thing falls apart. And then you're spending more time trying to hire people instead of retain them, right? So you're constantly advertising for this position and going into negotiations and hiring.
And it's so expensive. Employee turnover is so expensive.
It is. Instead of focusing on what it is that you were called to do when you started this business. So what that looks like for us from a customer point of view, we've got an amazing team of therapists, and sometimes it's just not a good fit. Maybe they were too deep. Maybe you asked for your feet specifically and your therapist was just having an off day and they forgot to work on your feet. It's just whatever, like just stupid stuff. We want to make sure that we have an opportunity to make that up to you in some way, because we really want to deliver on that Soma difference and that thing that really makes us stand out. So we're going to do everything we can. Maybe it's a free upgrade. Maybe it's a complimentary session with a different therapist. Like what feels appropriate in that moment. We're not just gonna be like, oh, well, see you next time. Like we go.
Yeah, exactly. So too bad about the feet, right?
Yeah, like, sorry, want to try again for next week? We're gonna go above and beyond to meet that in an appropriate way to show you that we care, right? If a therapist calls out sick and you've got to, and it's
You got to be rescheduled. Yeah.
and you had that one day off and you lined up a babysitter, like we're absolutely going to make that up to you the next time. And we're going to talk about ways to do that. When it comes to our therapist,
Can I pause you for just a second? Because
sure,
I
yeah.
just want to throw in here that I spoke with a business coach the other day who does revenue growth, is what she does. And as we went through that conversation, she starts with, what is your customer's experience? That's the first place we start before we work on anything else. And I think it goes back to that same idea of people first. The customer needs to be having a great experience. The customer's expectations based on your marketing and your sales stuff needs to match their actual experience.
Absolutely.
And if that's not in alignment, just dumping more people into your business with additional advertising or that sort of thing is making your problem much worse, much faster.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you read on Google, Soma Massage Therapy has over 1,200 five-star reviews.
Look at you go, girl.
Very much. And that's intentional. Like now we have tools to help prompt people to leave us those reviews.
Well, of course.
But I mean, it's also that really intentional, instead of focusing on like, well, like at least we made $100 today, like go like taking that effort to get them rescheduled, offer them that complimentary upgrade, offer them another opportunity to meet with a different massage therapist. And what happens is they're so moved by our effort,
Your
that
concern for their experience.
They
Yes.
tell their friends, and that is how your business grows. So we really, I mean, my front desk team, they are pros at customer service. I'm so proud of them. And our massage therapists too. They show up and they deliver excellence every single time. And when we have a bad day and it's just not a good fit, then we do what we can to make sure that we make that up to the client the next time.
Exactly.
Now, from the therapist, and I really think that this people first philosophy actually really starts with the therapist.
Can I throw a little something in here and we'll come back to the therapist? I keep cutting you off at the therapist.
Yeah, no, but I really want to talk about that.
But here, the thing, you mentioned that when something wasn't right, you go out of your way to make it right. And I think that's really where the okay business and the superior business are distinguished from a customer experience. Because when stuff goes wrong, how you handle it changes whether it's going to be a 1-star review or a 5-star review. And the really amazing businesses go out of their way to flip that experience from 1 star to 5.
We absolutely do. And we don't do it, I mean, we love the reviews, but we don't do it for the reviews. We do it for the client retention.
Exactly. And you don't mess up deliberately, but I want to reframe it as an opportunity. Look at these misses as an opportunity to show the customer how much you care about their world, their experience.
Absolutely. We also take it as an opportunity to help coach the therapist on things, I don't want to say where they failed. That's not the right word, but ways
where the disconnect was.
Yeah. And I do really sincerely see it as an opportunity, because speaking as a massage therapist myself, if a client doesn't like a session, they're probably not going to tell you to your face. They're just not going to book with you ever again.
Yeah.
And when we have 25 therapists open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and we've got this really solid reputation in the community, we have the opportunity to book that client with a different therapist, get that feedback on what was missed. Where was that, as you said, where was that disconnect? And then we can discreetly and in a kind sort of way, without maybe disclosing exactly which client or which session this happened, whatever it is, we can bring this to the therapist and be like, we recently got some feedback about this and this and this. Here's some ways that we can, do you recall this session? Or do you have any feedback? Like, how can we support you to make sure that this doesn't happen again? And really kind of open up this conversation and kind of coach them to being not only great therapists, but like excellent therapists. Right? So can I talk about the therapist?
Now you can talk really quickly. And if you can fold the no tipping policy in with that also, because I love people that don't follow the mold. And no tipping, I think, is definitely breaking the mold.
Especially in this industry. Yeah. So this people first philosophy, I know I started talking about the client experience, but it really starts with your employees. Because if you treat your people well, they're going to treat the business well. right? And that's what I said, that reverse pyramid. It starts
Yeah.
with me, it goes to the employees, it goes to the clients, and then it goes out to the community, right? And we don't ride their ass if they're sick. My God, you're touching people. Like, we're
I do
healthcare.
not want you in here if
I
you're
literally do not. Like,
communicable in any way.
you can make up those hours later. We will get your clients rescheduled. Go home, hydrate. I don't want to see you until you're completely over
Feeling
this.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, we give them a fair amount of flexibility over their schedule. This is hard work, not only physically, but energetically holding space for people.
Sure.
If they request a day off, we're pretty much going to give it to you. I can understand that you're going to, and I'm not going to be a jerk about it, right? We give them healthy snacks in the break room. We don't have a vending machine full of Snickers bars. We have a fridge full of string cheese.
Yogurt and fruit
yeah,
and yeah.
sparkling water. And when you book a 1 hour massage at Soma Massage Therapy, Zofia, your appointment's actually going to be booked at either 75 or 90 minutes so that your therapist and you have an opportunity to fully talk about what goals you have for your session, what worked last time, what didn't work, things that did, like really give us sort of
Yeah,
like a
and it doesn't eat into my hour
doesn't eat
massage.
into your hour, which
Yeah.
means it's going to be a better experience for you. Our therapists are going to be better equipped to know how to meet your needs. Then typically you will also check out with your therapist, which is great for the therapist because you're probably going to rebook with them if they're the one helping you with the
Yeah.
checkout process. Obviously, we have to turn over the room, sanitize everything, but we also want to give your therapist an opportunity to just catch their dang breath.
Yeah.
Reply to that text message from their kid, eat one of those pieces of string cheese and grab a sparkling water and just ground so that they are ready for the next person. We don't push people through. We want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to take their time. And so that's why our therapists can choose if they want a 15 or a 30-minute break. How much time do you need to
Between,
really
yes.
Now, I might make less money if the majority of my therapists are taking 30-minute buffers instead of 15-minute buffers. But again, it's that retention. Like, I've had people at Soma for years, which is kind of unheard of in this industry. People bounce after a couple of months looking for the next best thing. Now, the no tipping policy, you want me to talk about that?
Yes, please,
Completely-
because this is
completely
really
broken.
unusual.
Yeah, and I would love to talk about how I came up with that, but I know we're running short on time. Suffice it to say, my entire career, I've never accepted tips. And Soma just kind of organically came out of my work that I was doing as a solo practitioner. So it worked for me. So we're just going to keep this thing going.
Yeah.
What I have found, and I could talk about the reasons what made me choose as a massage therapist not to accept tips myself. I know we don't have time for that. But what I found from
Well, is it really that long a story?
3 or 4 points. Like, we can go back to that if there's time after I tell this part. But what I found from that is that it really has encouraged our clients to see massage, going back to this healthcare focus, as something that you do regularly. If you've never tipped your physical therapist, and you've never tipped your chiropractor, and you've never tipped your nurse practitioner, you've never tipped your
Never
dental
tipped your
hygienist,
doctor, your
like,
dentist.
why would you be tipping us? We are caring for your body. We are helping you meet your, we're increasing your range of motion. We're decreasing your blood pressure. Like, some people like no longer have to take that migraine medication because, like, whatever it is. This is healthcare, and you should be looking at this as healthcare, which means that our clients then, instead of coming in twice a year on their birthday and anniversary, are coming in every 3 to 6 weeks.
Yes.
For maintenance, just like they
Which
would
is much more optimal. Yes.
Absolutely. It also is less stressful for our massage therapists because they know what their paycheck is going to look like. We stay 90 to 100% booked truly every single day with a wait list on a Tuesday. Like, we stay booked. And a therapist would much rather have a fully booked schedule with no tips. Typically, the team here at Soma, I found that my therapist typically would rather have a fully booked schedule instead of a 50% book schedule and kind of do that weird sort of dance at the end, begging for
Can
tips.
I get an extra like $5 or $10?
Right? And what happens if you have a client who they loved your session, but they just can't afford to tip you what they tipped you last time, but you were counting on that extra $20?
Yeah, exactly.
And it happens a couple times, and now you don't have enough gas to get to work because you were counting on tip money, right? Which then makes it stressful for everybody. It's also less stressful for the clients because, girl, when we are elbow deep in your piriformis working on that sciatica, I don't want you thinking about your checking account.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
want you breathing. I want you thinking, I want you to release
Well,
that
and
tension.
that's why I always pay for my massage session before I go in, because my brain won't be working when I come back out.
And that's right. That's right. So it reduces stress, and it shouldn't that be what we're doing as massage therapists, is reducing your stress and then treating this like the healthcare practice, that it reduces the stress. It makes for, always know what your paycheck is going to look like. And I pay my therapists typically always more than what your standard corporate
Yeah.
massage place would be, because I'm making up that difference with the tips, which again,
Got that certainty.
that
Yeah,
retention. Yeah. And people
exactly.
can read more about our no tipping policy on our website at mysomamassage.com.
And we'll make sure those links are in the show notes at the bottom. So we are up on, believe it or not, our second break already.
Woo.
And let's see, what is going to be a good, okay, here's your assignment over the break. What is one thing that your industry does that you hate that you could stop doing in your business? And what do you have to do to make sure that that is a good customer experience, a good employee experience, and a good business experience? So spend some time on what is one thing in your industry that you think is annoying, and how can you eliminate that in your business? And hang with us. We'll be right back.
Oh, shout it loud, but we'll hear. Tech is ours and we show no fear. No fear. No fear. No fear.
Thanks for hanging in with us through the break. This is Zofia Morales. I'm back with the amazing and wonderful Amber Briggle. And I gave you a little homework over the break, kind of similar to her no tipping policy. What are some things you might be able to do in your business, in your industry, that sets you apart from other people in the industry and eliminates like a friction point for your customer or your employees? So I hope you generated a few ideas around that before you came back with us. And I guess we've talked a lot about people first and taking care of other people, employees, customers, but kind of the most important person you need to take care of is yourself as the business owner. So what form does self-care take for you when you're juggling being a CEO, business owner, parent, spouse, engaged member of the community?
So there's a couple of real practical things that I do professionally and personally. But professionally, I've been very intentional in assembling a team that fully supports me and this vision and this North Star that we're pointing towards. They get it. Like, they are there to support me. I don't have people sabotaging me, second guessing me, undercutting me. Like, we're 100%. And so if I need to delegate something because I just don't have the bandwidth, I ran out of spoons, I will delegate it and they will get it done. Right. And so absolutely having a fantastic support team. And then personally, I will mad props to my husband, because a lot of women lost their careers during COVID and mine just shot to the moon. And my husband was integral to that, and making sure that the kids were logging into school,
homeschooled, and all the things.
Laundry and right. So whoever is in your personal sphere, making sure that they're able to support you and you can lean on them when you need it too.
Let me talk to you about who is in your support sphere, because I know a lot of us women think we only get brownie points if we do all the stuff ourselves. And in fact, in my family of origin, my mother tends to think you shouldn't delegate or outsource stuff to anyone else. In fact, when I got married the second time, we were kind of on a shoestring. And I had tapped everyone in my circle to do different things. I had a friend who was DJing. I had a friend who was taking photos. And when the family showed up, I had them help me decorate the reception hall. And my mother's watching all this, and she's like, I can't believe you're putting such a load on all the people around you. I'm like, some of them volunteered and said I would be happy to help. And in doing things they enjoy and are gifted doing. I don't see it as outsourcing what I should be doing onto other people. In fact, I had one friend that gave me the most amazing wedding gift, and that was, she said, I will be your on-site coordinator on the day of your wedding.
Thank you.
So you don't have to think about any of that. You can just be present at the wedding and the reception, and I will answer caterer questions and keep the schedule moving along and all the things. And that was the best wedding present.
Absolutely. Yeah. Surrounding yourself with that support crew, that pit crew, is important. And you're right, as women, and I'm the oldest daughter.
Yes, the hyper responsible one. That's me too.
Like, we are supposed to do it all. And so this segues into the next thing I was going to say, is just making sure that you're caring for yourself, which is completely like just radical. Like we as women don't do that because we are the support team for everyone else except for ourselves.
I'm the backstop, yes.
Yeah. And then you know what happens? In my case, I was eating my feelings. I was drinking a half bottle of wine at night. I was not getting enough sleep. I was waking up exhausted because I wasn't sleeping well because I was eating like sugar and drinking wine until 11
Yeah,
o'clock.
exactly. And your
And then you
body
wake
doesn't
up and you're
rest
like
well.
depleted, and then it's that much easier to get to snap, right?
Yeah.
So at the beginning of 2025, I got with a wellness coach and I was like, I got to fix this shit because I put on weight. I'm not caring for myself. And our whole mantra at Soma, if you go to our website, it says right there on our front page, self-care is how you get your power back.
Hello.
Self-care is how you get your, so
yes,
what do I do?
physician, heal thyself.
I have a timer on my phone that goes off every 2.5 to 3 hours. And I just, okay, I'm thinking of I know it sounds crazy, but I'm literally taking a break and I go and I refill my water, make myself a healthy snack, load the dishwasher or let the dog out or something, 10 minutes. And then I come back.
Little bit of physical movement, exit from the working
Crazy
space.
how
Yes.
just like 5 or 6 times a day, just like stopping and thinking about myself has completely transformed. I dropped like 25 pounds because I'm not like shoving my face full of carbs every time I open the fridge. I'm like healthy snacks, right? I'm getting 8 hours of sleep. And I've had this very stressful thing happening for the last like year or so. And this like emotional vampire just like sucking all my energy. And one day I was like, I'm liberated. I don't have to play this weird sort of like Pizzagate game, like this conspiracy theories. Like I'm piecing out and I'm going to be okay with that. And I was able to make that conscious decision because I was practicing such good self-care that my mind was clear.
Yep.
Like I was well rested. I was hydrated. My stress level had like all of that just reduced my stress level so that I'm not so reactive to every single thing that is thrown at me.
Exactly. And before we started the interview, we had talked about a particular form of self-care that I've been doing for myself, which is prioritizing a personal project before I even walk into my workday. And it allows me to, when I come out of my office or take a break or something and look around, because we just moved in the last year, not go, oh my God, I'm not making headway on any of this, like getting reestablished in the new house stuff. If I have that hour or 45 minutes or something, I can go into my workday feeling like, yes, and the personal side of things is moving forward also.
Absolutely. Good. Right? When you take care of yourself, it's like things just kind of like fall into place. Right.
And I'd feel less overwhelmed and I feel more powerful and I get more done because my brain isn't like spinning this and this other stuff isn't happening.
If you don't have time to go on a mile walk in the morning, walk around the block. Right. Like I shared with you before we recorded that my practice is not every day, but most days out of the week, I will journal. And I've got a variety of journals. I've got some guided ones. I've got some open ones. I've just got pages where I might sketch. I've got like this one where I write things down as if they've already happened, right? Like, it's kind of like, what's the vibe that day? But I journal and I just get it out there.
Right. And I get my walk in too, because the workshop is at the back of a 1-acre lot. So
there you go. You get some steps in, right?
Exactly.
You care for yourself. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then I know that we want to talk about franchising, but I wanted to also mention like, that's also weirdly kind of a form of self-care because again, what I'm finding, I have 2 locations. I have one main location close to downtown. It's got 7 treatment rooms. That's where the bulk of our work happens. I have a satellite location, just 1 room inside a chiropractic clinic. So technically I got 2 locations, but it's kind of like room number 8, 5.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm looking at, and we are, as I said, to capacity most days out of the week. Many days we have a wait list.
Right. And making money consistently, which I think is big. I have to kind of emphasize in massage, what I've noticed is the studios that I really like that have treated people well in the past have suffered from a lot of therapist turnover, have suffered from a lot of client attrition, and they oftentimes don't make it beyond the first couple of years.
Yep.
And
we've
so
been around for a minute. Yeah.
you have been around and you went through trial by fire. And so you
Girl, yeah.
definitely have got this sorted out,
Yeah, we do.
which is an important first step if you're going to franchise that.
I think so too. And so as I'm seeing, we relaunched it 14 months after we closed. 14 months after we had reopened in this, well, we had been open before that, but within
Yeah.
14 months of closing, we opened in this gorgeous location that we're at downtown. We now gross over, and then like a year or two after that, we grossed like $1 million a year. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, there's a need for this, right?
Exactly.
And I started thinking about like, it'd be really great if we opened a third location, maybe on the south side of town where we got a lot of clients, or maybe we go further north so people don't have to drive from Oklahoma to come see us, like whatever it is, right? But then I was like, girl, that is a lot of work. It is a lot
Yeah,
of managing.
absolutely. And it's
I'm
going
gonna
to crash down on you.
I was like, that's going to be on me. So franchising was my solution, because if I'm going to drop that much money on a build out and staffing and on this next location, why not invest that money in a consulting and coaching firm who can walk me through this franchising process so that someone else can open that third and fourth and 50th and 1000th location. We see
Exactly.
probably 1,000 people a month between, mostly at our main studio, but the two combined, we see 1,000 people a month. Now, imagine if we had 100 or 500 or 1,000 studios across the country, how many more people we could see. And that's always been the trajectory of my career.
Yeah.
So when you said at the top, when my schedule was booked for weeks or months out, I physically, like, I only have two hands. I only
Yep.
have so much energy. I cannot give more of myself without breaking myself. So that's when I hired somebody, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
she got busy and we moved out and I hired more people and and everything just kept going. So now if I want to expand again, why put more work on me when I could offer someone else the
Yeah.
opportunity for wealth and success and financial security and provide? Clearly, it's a winning model.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
we survived COVID in such a profound and successful way, there must be something there, right?
You
And
are definitely doing something right.
I think so.
I
too.
do want to ask one quick question. We're down
Yeah.
to like our last 4 minutes here.
Sure. Yeah.
I know there are listeners out there going, you talk about women in male-dominated industries. What are you doing here with a massage studio? The male-dominated aspect here is the franchising.
Yeah.
What did you notice when you went into the franchising world?
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of franchisees, so studio owners, are often, there's a lot of women. There are a lot of women who own that franchise. What I don't see are female franchisors. There are
Right.
some out there, like Kathy Dino from like Painting with a Twist. Like she's
Yeah.
amazing. So like there are franchisors who are women, but there's not a lot of them.
Most of them are guys. Yeah.
Most of them are men. In fact, my coach is a guy and the audiobook is narrated by a guy. And there's not a lot of women out there. And so, yes, I've transitioned from being a massage therapist, 85% of massage therapists are women, to being a small business owner, and a lot of small business owners are women, right? To now being a franchisor, and there's not a lot of women at that sort of CEO level, but franchisor level either. So yeah, definitely kind of a weird corn. Yeah.
So we're down to our last 2 minutes really of the show. What would your words of wisdom to be to other female founders out there who are on this journey? What is the biggest lesson you've taken away from your own journey that they could benefit from?
I'd say probably so many. Don't compromise your values. Know who you are. Don't take shortcuts to make that profit. The profit comes with the hard work that you put in. So don't second guess yourself. You got this. Surround yourself with the right people. Don't compromise on your values. Know who you are. Stay true to that. And I do want to say too, because my coach would kill me if I didn't drop this in there. If you're interested in franchising with us, you can go to our website at mysomamassage.com. Soma is short for somatic. mysomamassage.com/franchise. There's more information there. If this opportunity isn't right for you, but you know someone, maybe your son got fired by Doge, or maybe your sister-in-law got an inheritance, whatever it is, and you think it might be a good fit for them, please introduce them to me. And if they become a franchisee in the future, then you will get, either $1,000 cash or a year of free massages for making that happen for us both. I do also want to point out that you don't have to be a massage therapist to be a Soma Massage Therapy franchisee.
I was gonna ask that.
You don't. I mean, think about the person who owns the lube oil filter place is not a mechanic. They own the business. You ought to be working on the business instead of in the business. So if wellness and values and people first like resonate with you, if something I said today resonates with you and you're just tired of the 9 to 5 bullshit, always having to beg your boss for time off so you can take your kid to the doctor, like, and you want to be your own boss, absolutely franchising might be right for you. There's financing that's available. I mean, you finance, like, I've got to get some dental work done, I'm going to finance that, right? Like, you
Yeah.
finance a wedding, you finance, you know, like, why not finance owning your own business? So if that resonates with you, mysomamassage.com/franchise, we'd love to meet you or meet your friends, and then maybe you get that franchise referral bonus that I
And
mentioned.
the ROI is better than the wedding.
Yeah, for real. I mean, it can, like, it actually it could pay you back.
It pays you back. That's the
Right?
whole
That car
point.
that you're financing like loses value the moment you drive it off the lot, but the business that you're building continues to build value. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining us
Oh,
today.
this was a great conversation.
We'll have
Thank
all the contact information and everything in the show notes, so you can look down there for that. And I thank you for investing your time with us today. I know you've got a million things that you could do with your time besides listening to this podcast. So we try to make it as fun and informative and useful as humanly possible. If you liked the show, if you didn't like the show, you can drop a comment in below, or you can send me an email to Zofia, Zofia, at steminstilettos.com. Let me know what you loved, what you hated, who I should talk to, topics you want to hear about. And until next week, go out, be bold, be beautiful, and be authentically you.